What's up everybody? Welcome to Mixed Marvel Arts, your go-to channel for all things MMA and comic books. Today we're going to take a closer look at Amazing Spider-Man issue number 3. For those of you who haven't joined us yet, this channel is aiming to review as many Spider-Man comics as possible. Check out my comic book reviews playlist to see what we've reviewed so far. But if you've already seen the videos in that playlist, then you're in the right place. And yes, as you can tell from the cover, Spider-Man will be facing a brand new villain in this issue. The classic Spider-Man foe, Doctor Octopus, will debut in this comic. So let's get into it. We get some cool art from Steve Ditko here, and an unexpected surprise that the Human Torch will guest star in this issue. But his role may not be what you expect, so continue watching to find out what exactly he does. The story begins with Spider-Man thwarting a routine robbery with ease. Then we find out that Spider-Man is starting to find his evening swing time a little too easy. He's starting to get a bit overconfident and wants an enemy who can really challenge him. But he may be wishing for more than he can handle, because right after this we get introduced to the esteemed scientist named Otto Octavius, who uses 4 mechanical arms in his nuclear experiments to shield him from extreme radiation. He seems like a decent guy. But that's about everything we learn about him before the radiation levels get too high and Dr. Octavius absorbs a dangerous level of radiation in the explosion. He wakes up a few days later only to find that his mechanical arms were fused to his body in the explosion. Even worse, the radiation has given him brain damage, and it appears as though Octavius has become a mad scientist. He breaks out of his hospital room using his new limbs, which is quite similar to in the Spider-Man 2 film. Although the Spider-Man 2 movie also took some concepts from Ultimate Spider-Man, which is a more modern take on the character, and made his escape more violent. You can see a panel from the Ultimate Spider-Man series on screen right now, which is another great series. But back to this comic. J. Jonah Jameson asks Peter to snap some pictures of Dr. Octopus, which he is already commonly referred to as, and Peter gladly accepts. Remember, he's been feeling a bit too sure of himself lately. He pays Dr. Octopus a visit as Spider-Man, and realizes for the first time that Octavius has turned evil. He's even holding 2 nurses and a 3rd hospital employee hostage. So Spider-Man intervenes to protect the helpless hostages, but he realizes that Dr. Octopus is far stronger than anyone he's faced before. And Dr. Octopus actually defeats Spider-Man in a fight with relative ease. He doesn't even break a sweat. So Peter's inexperience shows as he got too overconfident, despite only really being in 2 fights in his superhero career so far, which were against the Vulture and the Tinkerer's crew. Spider-Man is completely confused, and considers giving up his superhero career altogether. But returning to Doc Ock, he sneaks back into his lab and forcefully takes control over the entire complex. Here we see the scientists in the building lose control over their machinery and decide to escape while they can. They post security around the entire building to make sure nobody gets in or out. But then we get back to Peter Parker and learn that he's been moping in his room ever since the encounter with Doc Ock. He's even forced to admit to J. Jonah Jameson that he won't be able to get any pictures of Dr. Octopus, and might never be able to get pictures for the Daily Bugle again. The next day, the Human Torch informs Peter's high school that he's been assigned the task of taking down Doc Ock. But due to an overuse of his powers lately, he needs to recover. In the meantime, the school principal requested that he give a demonstration to his students. Then he delivers a speech that completely changes Peter's mindset. He says that giving up is never an option. Everyone loses sometimes, whether it be in school, work, or life in general. And the most important thing is to get back up and keep trying. Peter even thanks the Human Torch after, and it's pretty funny considering Spider-Man just recently fought the Human Torch and the rest of the Fantastic Four in issue number 1. You can watch that video and see that entire fight by clicking the link on the top of your screen. But of course, the Human Torch has no idea. And with his newfound motivation, Peter decides to go after Doc Ock again as Spider-Man. Now with a clear mind, he's able to avoid Doc Ock's traps. So Dr. Octopus decides to destroy Spider-Man himself. With an epic encounter approaching, Spider-Man slides into a nearby lab and puts together a new contraption. I always enjoy seeing Spider-Man use his science knowledge during his fights against supervillains. and he manages to loop one of his devices around two of Doc Ock's arms, fusing them together. But Dr. Octopus continues attacking him with his other arms, completely oblivious to Spider-Man's willingness to grab onto the arms. Eventually, he gets webbed in the face. When Spider-Man is pulled in close enough, he delivers a single punch to Doc Ock's jaw and knocks him out. It's funny that the villain who gives Spider-Man the most trouble he's ever faced gets defeated by a single punch. But when it comes down to it, Dr. Octopus is just an ordinary guy, without powers, who has 4 mechanical arms stuck to him. So it makes sense that a single punch from a superhero would defeat him. But Dr. Octopus will certainly return down the line with better thought out plans, so there is a lot more of him to come. With Dr. Octopus defeated, Spider-Man makes a final visit to the Human Torch and informs him that Dr. Octopus has already been taken down. We see Spider-Man thank the Human Torch and exit the room just as quickly as he came, leaving the Human Torch confused as to how he helped. Of course, he has no idea that Spider-Man attended his lecture earlier in the issue as Peter Parker. He doesn't know his secret identity. And at school the next day, the Human Torch shows off his full abilities while Flash Thompson mocks Peter about not being a real man. But Peter is so satisfied with his fight with Dr. Octopus that he couldn't care less. He never even had the time to snap pictures of Dr. Octopus to sell to the Daily Bugle. So with Peter's apparent withdrawal from working for the Daily Bugle, I'm looking forward to seeing how his relationship with J. Jonah Jameson is affected. And that's where our story ends. I loved seeing Spider-Man get defeated, only to unlock a new mentality and destroy Dr. Octopus in the rematch. And the beginning of a friendship between Spider-Man and the Human Torch was also really cool. These two are going to become pretty good friends eventually, so it was nice to see their friendship start to develop. I enjoyed everything about this story, so I'm going to rate it a 10 out of 10. But I want to know what you thought of it. Let me know in the comments section below what your favorite part was. And out of the 5 villains we've seen so far, including the Chameleon, the Vulture, the Tinkerer, Doc Ock, and technically Uncle Ben's killer if you want to include him, let me know who your favorite enemy was. But that's all I've got for now. If there are any other comics you want to see me review, just let me know in the comments. I'm open to reviewing others. Follow the link in the description to my Twitter page and follow me on there to receive more frequent updates about my channel. And if you want to see more comic reviews, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys soon.